Hi, and welcome to IBM Data Replication's new Apache Iceberg Target Engine. My name is Sean Robertson, and I'll be showing you how to set up a subscription and run it for the Iceberg Target Engine. Iceberg, of course, is an open table format meant for huge analytic datasets. It's wildly popular these days because it allows multiple different types of compute engines to interoperate with it, as well as many database supports, data lakehouse supports, and data warehouse supports. For our subscription, we already have one that I've created, which is an audit subscription. An audit subscription means that it will be recording the events that have happened on the source database. Our source database is DB2, and our target database is an Iceberg table with its catalog in our CP4D Watson X data. We can see that initially, in my DB2 table, we have one employee. His name's Sean, and he is optimistically aged at 29 years old. Since we haven't got any subscription yet, when we query our destination table, we can see that there aren't any rows. We can see from our data manager that the layout of the table has a timestamp, an ID, an age, and a full name. We're going to see that doesn't quite match up with our DB2 source database, so we're going to need to use the functionality of IBM CDC to be able to map one to the other. So let's make a new subscription. We're going to call it IceDemo1, and we're going to say that this source, DB2, should be going to our Iceberg target. Now, we haven't mapped any tables yet, so let's pick some to map. Right now, the Iceberg target is being queried. Its catalog is being looked at to see which tables are available and which table and namespaces, etc., so that they can show it to us in the selection dialog. We're going to pick a standard mapping, and we're going to pick the table employee. This is from the DB2 source. We're then going to look at the Iceberg layout, and we're going to map that to the table we looked at called IceDemo1. With those choices made, we're going to look at our table mapping. Now, since this is a fully featured target engine, we have both source mapping and a target mapping, and the ability to change and manipulate and transform data when going from one to the other. The target table has a column called timestamp. Luckily, metadata that CDC provides, called ampersand timestamp, tells us the operation time that the operation took place. We're going to map that to the timestamp column because there isn't a timestamp column that we wanted to use from the source table itself, so we use the metadata. For our ID, we're going to make that employee number. Age is going to be number of years. And here we have an issue. It says full name, but we have a first and a last name. So what are we going to do? We're going to make a new expression. And we're going to choose to concatenate two sets of things. So for the first parameter to be concatenated, we go to our list of source columns and we pick first name. And then we're going to concatenate that with a space because we want to have a space in between our names. And then we're going to concatenate our last name. We're going to verify that this expression makes sense. Yes, it does. So this will be what we're replicating into the column full name. We save it. And we're going to start our replication. Okay, we see the status is refresh. And quick enough, it's changed to active, meaning that we should have replicated any of the rows that were already in the source database. Here we go to our query, and for IceDemo1, we see that there's now a full name Sean Robertson who's now in our entry. When we look at the source database, we can do updates, inserts, and deletes. So let us look at doing another insert. Okay, we're going to add Kevin to our employee database. We're going to do an update. I may have been a little optimistic on my age, so we're going to change that to 30. Now when we look at our subscription, it's still telling us that it's actively mirroring, so we would expect those changes to appear on our target database. So we'd previously selected one. Let's clear that result set. Let's see what we have now. There we go. We have Sean Robertson is 30 years old, and we have Kevin has been added. So we've actually seen the update take place and affect the row, and we've seen Kevin. We're going to delete all employees from our table. Have a look. And we note that there are no items. On the audit table, if we have a view of this data, we see that the delete hasn't been affected. What has happened is that the operations were reported as deletes. And there we have Iceberg replication from a DB2 source to a what's next data underlying Iceberg table. Thank you very much.